Hi there. Welcome to Anatomy and Physiology at River Valley Community College. I'm Dr. Julie Robinson. I am the Department Chair for Biological and Health Sciences, and I'm one of the instructors for A&P. So whether you're in A&P 1 or A&P 2, this video will give you some information about the syllabus, some key parts. You are responsible for reading the entire syllabus and schedule, and then we'll go look at Canvas because both of those courses will be structured similarly. So the first part of the syllabus will be a little bit different up to required textbooks depending on whether you're in A&P 1 or 2. But all of our other policies are the same. So as you probably know by now, we will be wearing masks again on campus, at least for the fall semester. In the labs, you need to wear a mask. You have to wear closed-toed shoes. I know it's beautiful out except for today as a tropical storm moves through, but in general, you always need to wear closed-toed shoes in the lab for your safety and for other people's safety. And if we're working closely together, you'll be wearing face shields as well, which we'll provide to you, and they'll be stored in the labs. So the way that our courses will run this semester is that we'll be splitting you into Group A and Group B with no more than 8 students in each lab. So when you come to live labs, you'll be doing a regular lab as you would expect. You'll be hands-on, you'll be looking at models and slides. At A&P 2, we'll be doing some dissections throughout the semester. In A&P 1, we do 1 or 2 of those, and things like blood typing. We're going to use simulated blood this semester just to be extra safe, and you will almost always have a lab assignment due at the end of the lab. It may be an online assignment. So for the weeks when you do online lab work, the way that that works is you'll have a page that tells you what the objectives are, which are also in the supplemental lab manual if you're in A&P 2, or if you're in A&P 1, all of the objectives are in the lab manual. So on that lab resources and tasks to complete page, you'll see those objectives again. You'll have a list of activities to do, and then there's a lab assignment or 2 at the end of that. So just be careful to watch your due dates, which are listed in Canvas. You'll also see that sometimes there are optional lab assignments, which are some practice with the material to help you study for the lab practical, to give you kind of a feel for what to expect. Our practicals this semester will all be online lab practicals. So you have 90 minutes to do these. They'll be open for a 48-hour window, which is shown in your schedule, and that will vary depending on what course you're in as far as when they're due and what the open window is. But they'll all be the same format. So everybody gets the same number of questions, the same number of questions from each content area, but those questions might be slightly different. So generally, we prefer not to do makeups on the lab practicals, but we realize, these are unprecedented times. So if you do have an issue, the best thing to do is talk to your instructor and work that out with him or her. The grade for lab is 30% of your overall course grade. So half of your lab grade is the lab practicals. The other half of your lab grade is doing the labs and doing the lab assignments. We also have accommodations if you need those. You can contact Nicole Milo, but your responsibility is to make sure that you give yourself enough time to study and really learn the material, because you're learning for a lifetime. You're learning to take this information into your program courses, into your career, so you can be the best practitioner possible. You can also check out our library if you need help with research or you want to find some interesting articles on science. Who wouldn't, right? And our library also has computers that have Respondus enabled on them. So you have to have Respondus, which is a software you download on your computer For all of the lab practicals and all of the lecture exams, it has a webcam like what you see over here in the corner, and you'll have to do an environmental scan of where you are taking your exam as well. So you can schedule that with the library in Claremont, or with Charlene Ashey in Lebanon, or with Laura Hansen in Keene. And that information is on the first page of the syllabus. So just a few more things to note. Don't disappear from class. If you're having trouble, please talk to your instructor. Don't just disappear. We'll see if we can help you, but we don't know unless you tell us that you need some help. And if it's something outside of class, RVCC has lots of resources, and we can help get you to the right people to help you for your situation. Please only use your college email, because sometimes if you email from a personal account, it will go to my spam file, never ever to be seen again. I generally try to answer emails in 24 to 48 hours, except maybe if you email me on a Friday night, you probably won't hear from me until Monday morning. And then as far as academic integrity goes, we trust you to be honest, that you're here to get an education, that you value that education, and you want to do your best work on your own. And then lastly, don't forget to sign up for RVCC alerts. That will tell you information like, say, if there's a snow closure or if we have a delayed opening. And then you should always check Canvas and check with your instructor to see if they've made alternative arrangements for class that day. So your lab schedule will look like this in your syllabus. The syllabus is available online, and your instructor may give you a paper copy as well. So you can see I have the weeks over here, and then lab group A and lab group B. So for the first week, which is already next week, lab group A is going to come to campus. We're going to do the microscope lab, and then they're going to do an in-class assignment, and online they also need to do the quiz associated with this video. Lab group B is doing online lab work, and you can read through this. It'll vary a little bit depending on which course you're in and which section, but everybody's will look generally the same. So now I'm in Canvas, and I'm working in an AMP1 Canvas shell, but if you're in AMP2, again, it'll look just the same. So over here, there's two main things that you want to concentrate on. One is the calendar. So when I clicked on calendar, it brought me here to September, so I can see that my assignments are due, and then I can also click on these assignments and it'll give me a little bit about the assignment and let me actually click into the assignment. The other important button over here is your inbox, and your inbox will have emails that are sent within Canvas. You should also check your student email every single day so that you make sure you respond to emails and you get responses in an expedient manner, that you get them as quickly as possible. So let's look at this menu, which will be pretty much the same in every AMP course. Home is where we are now. So the syllabus is here, and there's a little information about where you might meet depending on where you're going. And if we scroll down, there's some links about where you can talk to the ACT Center about tutoring, and we suggest that you get a tutor on day one or before day one. If you decide later that you don't need the tutor, you're doing okay on your own, you can always say no thank you, but tutors tend to go very quickly after the first exam, so I'd reserve your tutor ASAP. We also hope that the tutoring services will have some drop-in AMP tutoring as well. There are links to Smart Thinking, which is an online tutoring service, and they tend to do tutoring late into the night. I've seen hours 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're someone maybe that works second shift or you're a night owl, use that. There's no additional charge. There's a link to the library. a link to our accessibility services, and then this is pretty cool. I just showed you in the calendar where you can see all your assignments. Here's another place where you can see all your assignments. So just to make sure you know where I am, I'm in the syllabus tab, and all my assignments are right here as well. So there's multiple places where you can see where things are due. And now I'm going to show you another place. So if we go into the module section, this is where you'll tend to spend most of your time in Canvas. So the first module, which you do have to go through, is some introductory information. So we want to make sure that you have your lab manual in hand. This button is doing similar to what this video is doing, some other important resources at the college, and again, the tutoring center so that if you need them, they're there. There's a technical help module as well. So this is for A&P2. We use a couple of different simulators. In A&P1, you won't have all of these buttons, but everybody will have a help button for Respondus. So important thing to note about Respondus help is you need to contact both Respondus and our help desk so we can make sure that you get help fast if you need it. So you can see here, just like I wrote in the syllabus and the schedule, it says whether you're going on campus or whether you're doing online work, that's also here in the modules. So you'll see Group A going to campus. In this particular case for A&P2, they're going to be doing a lab exercise in class. And then Group B is doing some online work. And then as you scroll through the modules, you'll see that that's the same every week. So in general, lab assignments are due on Sundays. If they're not, I've put in a big reminder that something like this practical is due on a Tuesday, not on a Sunday. But if you're in doubt, check your course calendar, check the syllabus tab, and check with your instructor. Better to ask than not turn something in because you didn't know that it was due. So if I had an online class meeting for Zoom, and you will have online class meetings pretty much all the time for your lecture courses, I just click on Zoom and it will show me right here when it is. This isn't real, by the way. And then I just join it as long as I'm logged in through Canvas. Another place that you'll probably want to look is the grade section. It is your responsibility to keep track of your grade. Check your grades. We are not insulted if you ask us to double check a grade. We have lots of students, so we want to make sure, we're as accurate as we can possibly be. Most of us double and triple check our grades, but you should do that as well. The people section is where you'll see what lab group you're in. So once you click on the people section, click on this tab up here. Again, doesn't matter if you're in A&P1 or 2, and then just click that little arrow and it'll show you who's in Group A, who's in Group B within your course. And you want to make sure that you follow that schedule that I showed you in the syllabus. Just a reminder that here's where it is in the syllabus, and it's also in the module section so that you come to lab when you're supposed to, because we can't have more than 8 students in the lab at one time, because we want to keep everybody as safe as possible. So as you probably heard or experienced, A&P is a pretty intense course, whether it's A&P1 or A&P2, no matter what level. I've taught this at 7th graders, 10th graders, undergrads, graduate students. Everybody says this class is hard. There's a lot of material for us to cover to give you some foundation for what you're going to do in your future careers and what you're going to study in your future courses. We are more than happy to help you. We ask that you do the work. We are equally willing to help you do that. As far as studying goes, you got to be consistent. Do a few hours, a few times a week, and you will find that it's not so bad if you do a little bit at a time and keep up with it like it's a job. And I love the subject matter. I can't wait to meet you in person. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to work hard, but we are going to have a lot of fun